single quarterback sack for the last 3 years of his tenure under the lights. He was selected to the All-State first team his junior and senior year and was regarded as the best lineman in the country. After playing in the U.S. Army All-American Bowl, he committed to Virginia over Maryland and Miami. While at Virginia, Monroe continued to succeed as he allowed just 2 sacks throughout his whole collegiate career. During his sophomore and junior years, he suffered a dislocated kneecap and a sprained knee, respectively. He was named first-team All-ACC during his senior season and was a bright spot on an unimpressive Virginia offense that scored just 23 total touchdowns. He also obtained a degree in sociology after graduating from UVA. Heading into the 2009 NFL Draft, scouts were drooling all over his athleticism and put him down as one of the best tackles in the entire draft. Monroe was selected with the 8th overall pick by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Monroe started immediately in Jacksonville as he was a valuable player on the line. During the 2013 season, Monroe was traded to the Ravens for a 4th and 5th round selection in the 2014 NFL Draft. Monroe's career would never get back on track as he suffered knee injuries, ankle injuries, shoulder injuries, as well as concussions. Nothing was going right for this dude. After spending just 3 seasons in Baltimore, Monroe was released and decided to retire. He cited the reason for his retirement was a result of signs of memory loss he had been experiencing and fears over developing CTE that could damage his brain for the rest of his life. Following his retirement, Monroe has devoted most of his time towards advocating for legal use of cannabis in the NFL. He had stated that he spent his time in the NFL taking the drugs the team doctors prescribed to him, but he feels like marijuana has been able to most effectively heal his body from all of the injuries he has sustained. He is looking to work with the NFL to finally allow players to use cannabis without any repercussions. From the class of 2006, we have yet another offensive tackle in Andre Smith from Birmingham, Alabama. While attending Huffman High School, Smith played football and threw shot put and discus. Smith was clearly the best offensive lineman in the country, as he recorded 88 pancake blocks his senior season, and he was named to 2 All-State teams. He was so good, in fact, that he was the first offensive lineman to be named Alabama's Mr. Football by the Alabama Sports Writers Association. His athleticism resulted in him being named one of 4 finalists for the Walter Payton Award. He announced his commitment to Alabama in dramatic fashion as he put on a houndstooth hat similar to the one legendary Alabama head coach Bear Bryant used to wear. He went on to start nearly every single game with the Crimson Tide and was named a consensus All-American. He became the first Alabama offensive lineman since Chris Samuels in 1999 to win the Outland Trophy given to the nation's best lineman. This dude was all about pancakes and getting the syrup. He recorded 62 pancakes his freshman year, including 24 pancakes over a 3-game span. Smith experienced a slip-up towards the end of his time with the Tide as he was suspended for the 2009 Sugar Bowl. He was suspended for interacting with an agent other than his own. He declared for the draft following this incident and put up unimpressive numbers at the combine. He ran a 5.28 second 40-yard dash and only put up 19 reps for the bench press. More drama ensued as he left the combine early without informing his group leader. His poor combine lowered his draft stock. Smith was eventually selected as the 6th overall draft pick in the 2009 NFL Draft by the Cincinnati Bengals. Smith's career got off to a rocky start as he held out from signing his contract, missing all of training camp in 3 games of the 2010 preseason. Smith then fractured his left foot and missed 10 games of his rookie season. Not a great way to start his NFL career. The following season, he suffered another foot fracture that kept him out for the Bengals' remaining 8 games. Smith finally flashed his run and pass blocking abilities as he was the starting right tackle and was a part of the offensive line that only allowed 25 sacks throughout the whole season. Smith continued to have success, but suffered concussions during the 2014 and 2015 season. The injury bug plagued Andre several times over the next few seasons, as his 2016 season was cut short with the Vikings after he tore his tricep. In 2017, he returned to the Bengals and injured his knee. The following year, he spent time with the Cardinals, where he sustained an elbow injury, before signing with the Bengals for the third time. In January 2020, Smith was signed by the Baltimore Ravens, who looked to use the veteran to help support their depleted offensive line. Smith has had a decent NFL career so far to this point. He hasn't quite lived up to his potential, but that may be due to all of the injuries he has sustained throughout his career. I am sure he will be a key piece on the Ravens' offensive line during the upcoming season. In the class of 2007, we have running back Joe McKnight from River Ridge, Louisiana. Unfortunately, McKnight's story is a tragic one. McKnight grew up in River Ridge, Louisiana, where he attended John Curtis Christian High School, a private school that has produced the likes of Reggie Dupard and Jonathan Wells. McKnight's father was not present during his upbringing, so his mother, Jennifer McKnight, worked 3 jobs in order to provide for him and his siblings. McKnight originally played cornerback for the Patriots, but eventually switched to running back. Before his junior season in 2005, Hurricane Katrina destroyed their home and caused McKnight to relocate to Shreveport. His family returned to River Ridge and lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. McKnight accounted for 22 total touchdowns and averaged 18 yards per play, as he did just about everything for the Patriots. He was even more impressive his senior year, as he led John Curtis Christian to a state championship, as he accounted for more than 30 total touchdowns. He also had an incredible breakaway speed, as he was recorded running a 4.4-second 40-yard dash while in high school. McKnight was seen along with quarterback Jimmy Clausen as the top players in the class of 2007. He was named the Co-Player of the Year by Parade magazine. It appeared McKnight was set to sign with LSU under head coach Les Miles, who went on to win the national championship just the following year, but at the last moment committed to USC. He looked to join the line of great Heisman-winning running backs who have come out of Southern California, including O.J. Simpson, Marcus Allen, and Reggie Bush. USC ran into some trouble with the NCAA, as it was revealed that Reggie Bush had contacted McKnight and persuaded him to join the Trojans. The accusations were denied and nothing ended up coming out of it. Due to his raw talent and versatility, McKnight was dubbed the next Reggie Bush. McKnight began his career with the Trojans playing sparingly, as he suffered several strange and unfortunate injuries, but had a breakout campaign during his junior season, as he finished with 1,014 yards and 8 rushing touchdowns, while averaging 6.2 yards per carry. More drama ensued as he was caught driving in a Land Rover SUV that he should not have been able to afford, and as a result was kept out from playing in the 2009 Emerald Bowl. McKnight declared for the 2010 draft, and he was selected in the 4th round by the Jets. He was ready to tap into his potential that he wasn't able to develop completely while at USC. He spent 3 years in New York, largely serving as a rotational running back and an electric kick returner. In 39 games with the Jets, McKnight amassed 502 rushing yards and 177 receiving yards. He also recorded 29 yards per return on kickoffs and 2 touchdowns during a successful stint on special teams. In 2011, his 31.6 yards per return ranked number 1 among all qualified players. Heading into 2013, McKnight failed his physical for not having enough body fat and was very dehydrated. He was arrested for a traffic violation and also suffered a concussion. These mishaps and injuries eventually led to his release before the season even began. McKnight signed with the Chiefs, but he appeared in only 2 games before tearing his Achilles. He then made his way to the Canadian Football League, where he played with the Edmonton Eskimos and the Saskatchewan Roughriders, totaling 38 rushes for 228 yards with the latter. On December 1st, 2016, in broad daylight, McKnight was shot and killed by Ronald Gasser after an altercation arose from a road rage incident. McKnight was unarmed and apparently had been swerving in and out of lanes. Gasser had also been involved in another road rage incident 10 years before for punching someone. Gasser was initially released without any charges, but after an investigation into second-degree murder, Gasser was found guilty in January 2018 and sentenced to 30 years in prison once the jury came to a 10-2 decision. No one's life should be taken away from them at a young age, and no one should ever have to die as a result of a gun. McKnight should be remembered as an outstanding athlete who did not deserve the ending he got. He was a hero for every football player in South Louisiana, including Chiefs safety Tyrann Mathieu, emulated his running style and his athletic ability and wanted to become just like him. In the 2008 class, we have defensive end Daquan Bowers from Bamberg, South Carolina. Bowers attended Bamberg Earhart High School, where he played defensive end and running back and was a star shot put thrower and sprinter on the track team. As a senior, he led the Red Raiders to an 11-2 record, where he recorded an impressive 97 tackles, including 33 tackles for a loss, 14 sacks, and scored a total of 19 touchdowns while at running back. Coming out of high school as the top-ranked recruit, Rivals.com compared the top-notch defensive end to that of legends Reggie White and Bruce Smith. He was 6'5", 270 pounds, and could run the 40-yard dash in 4.5 seconds. He deserved the title as the top recruit. He is also a talented musician and bassist, and played with his father's group, the legendary Singing Stars, while in high school and college. Bowers signed with the hometown team, the Clemson Tigers, as he became their highest-rated recruit up until 2018, when he lost that claim to Trevor Lawrence. He enrolled at Clemson early, as he looked to make a huge impact for a mediocre team that finished just 7-6 in 2008. He developed well under Coach Sweeney and posted his most impressive numbers his junior year when he recorded 67 tackles, 26 tackles for a loss, and 15.5 sacks. During his junior season training camp, his father, gospel musician Dennis Bowers, passed away. Shortly before that, his mentor and former Clemson defensive end, Gaines Adams, died unexpectedly. Interestingly, Bowers did not falter or digress in his performance on the field. In fact, he did quite the opposite. He was a unanimous All-American and was awarded the Bronco Nagurski Trophy, given to the best defensive player in college football. He declared following his outstanding 2010 season and was seen as a top prospect heading into the 2011 draft. This was not the case, however, as he was selected as the 51st overall draft pick by the Buccaneers. This may have been a result of an off-season knee surgery. This knee surgery revealed that he has a condition that could lead to arthritis in his knee and ultimately impact the rest of his playing career. NFL teams knew he had elite talent, but their awareness of the surgery made them have second thoughts. He had a decent rookie season, but the injury bug struck early as he tore his Achilles tendon before his sophomore year began. After the 2012 season, he was arrested for carrying an unloaded gun at the LaGuardia airport. He may have mistakenly had a gun in his bag, but he alerted authorities at the security checkpoint. He was charged with second-degree possession, but the charges were eventually dropped, and he had to pay a $370 fine. His character issues led to speculation he would be released before the 2014 season. Everything continued to go wrong for Bowers, as he was then suspended for using performance-enhancing substances. Injuries, lack of success, and off-the-field issues led to his release before the 2015 season, as he accumulated just 69 tackles and 7 sacks after lasting 4 seasons in the NFL. He tried his hand in Canadian football as he signed with the Edmonton Eskimos and made his biggest impact in professional football as he recorded 7 sacks and 1 interception. Just 2 months after signing a 2-year contract extension, he announced his retirement. He came back to Clemson to complete his degree in Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Management and spent time with the Tigers as an undergraduate head coach. Bowers recently was named the South Florida Bulls' defensive line coach in December of 2019. And finally, in the 2009 class, we have quarterback Matt Barkley from Newport Beach, California. Barkley attended the prestigious Mater Dei High School in Santa Ana. He became the first freshman quarterback to start for Mater Dei since the infamous Todd Marinovich. He had a strong start to his high school career as he passed for 6,994 yards and 57 touchdowns through his first 3 years. He made national headlines as he was the first non-senior to win not only the 2007 Football Gatorade National Player of the Year, but also the 2007 Gatorade National Male Athlete of the Year. He was without a doubt the top player in the nation for the class of 2009. Despite speculation that he might sign with UCLA, the Sunshine State quarterback verbally committed to play for USC, following in the footsteps of former Mater Dei quarterback and Heisman Trophy winner Matt Leinart. His senior year was a bit of a disappointment, as he only threw for 23 touchdowns to go with 18 interceptions. He doubled his interception total from the year before. He had fallen from the number 1 spot, but after a strong 2-touchdown performance in the Under Armour All-American game, he reclaimed his spot at the top, according to ESPN. His quarterback coach, Steve Clarkson, believed he could be the next Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, and Barkley was on the path to an illustrious career. He enrolled early at USC, and following the departure of Mark Sanchez, became the first true freshman to start an opener for the Trojans. He put up decent numbers during his freshman campaign as he led the Trojans to an 8-4 record, passing for 2,735 yards to go with 15 touchdowns. Less impressively, however, was the fact that he threw for 14 interceptions as well. Barkley entered his sophomore season under new head coach Lane Kiffin after Pete Carroll made the smart decision to take a job with the Seattle Seahawks in the NFL amid a scandal that placed sanctions on the 2010 USC team. He played lights out during the next 2 seasons as he led USC to a record of 8-5 and 10-2 respectively. He passed for over 6,000 yards and threw for 65 touchdowns to just 19 interceptions during those 2 seasons. He was seen as a potential number 1 overall draft choice in the 2012 NFL draft, but he made the biggest mistake of his life when he decided to stay in order to help USC win a national championship. Heading into his senior year, he was seen as a Heisman Trophy favorite, and USC had been ranked number 1 in the preseason poll. Everything fell apart for USC though, as they ended up losing 6 games as they finished 7-6. To make matters worse, during a loss against UCLA, linebacker Anthony Barr dislocated Barkley's shoulder, an injury that kept him out from playing in the Sun Bowl. Although it was a minor shoulder injury, this injury created mass speculation as to whether or not he would ever be the same again. Because of this same injury, he did not throw at the NFL Scouting Combine, a very concerning sign for any team looking to draft their quarterback of the future. Barkley fell all the way to the 4th round in the 2013 NFL Draft, as he was selected by the Philadelphia Eagles. He was a 3rd-string option behind Nick Foles and Michael Vick, and threw 4 interceptions and no touchdowns during his rookie season. After throwing just 1 pass in 2014, he was traded to the Cardinals, where he did not see any playing time at all. He was signed by the Bears, where he was able to have his first chance to start after an injury to Brian Hoyer and Jay Cutler. He nearly led the Bears to a victory over the Green Bay Packers after throwing for 362 yards and 2 touchdowns, but they ended up losing 30-27. Remember all those interceptions he had thrown back in high school? Well, not much had changed for him in the NFL, as he finished that season with the Bears with 8 touchdowns to 14 interceptions. He spent time with the Cardinals again, as well as the Bengals, before suffering a knee injury that kept him from seeing much playing time. He's currently with the Buffalo Bills, where he's the backup to Josh Allen. Unfortunately, due to his injury, Barkley was never able to excel on the NFL level. This is just another cautionary tale that even if you do everything right, it does not guarantee you will have all the success you wanted. As a result of his decision to stay at USC, Bleacher Report calculated, missed out on $13 to $42 million in the first few years of his NFL career. We're going to have to look out for his son, John Barkley, in the future, as he clearly will follow in his father's footsteps. Despite the fact that all these recruits held the top prospect ranking for their respective class, they all went on to have very different careers. Adrian Pearson definitely put together the most successful career as a whole, as he won the NFL MVP in 2012. If you haven't already, click the link in the description below to check out part 1 of our series. If you have any video ideas for our next video/series,
Oh, that was a mistake, Aaron. I don't even draw attention to my crotch during copulation. Oh my God. Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. If you're feeling bad about your life, just remember, you're better than the Jets, Perna. Here we are, week 6 of NFL football. Half the teams have already lost their bye weeks because of COVID. The Buccaneers defense looks like championship caliber, and Derrick Henry is the best football player on earth. And that includes soccer. Today I will bring what I believe to be the best and worst of all of the Sunday games and hand out my highly coveted BDP awards. You know what they mean. That's good. Sports. Hey, do me a favor. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you already have subscribed, then create a new email address, log into Google through that, and then subscribe again. I want to become the most inflated YouTube channel with subs. I do have Big Dick Patreon shout out for new donors. Happy birthday, Techie. Aaron loves you and all the nasty things you do. The season by a huge margin in the Bucks blowout win. This face mask, the Elvis Dumervil sack, the Nate Clements hit on Brady, and Von Miller dragging his nuts in his face. Yes, I shall be as weird as the architect from The Matrix, but I will not be J-O-ing alone in a room to Neo. What? I'm pretty sure that's what you did in there, right? Worst, again, Aaron Rodgers throws a pick 6. Aaron Rodgers, who had committed like 0 turnover-worthy plays this entire season, becomes the latest person to take pity on old man Brady, scoring the Buccaneers' first touchdown for them. That was followed by an interception taken to the 2-yard line. 2 yards, Tom Brady's maximum throwing distance. 2 yards is just 3 less than the Packers' offense amassed in the second quarter. That was the best offense in the league heading into this game. Tom Brady had a 14-10 lead before he even threw his first pass, which feels like a metaphor for his entire career. Best? Jets ass interception. Assception? Seriously, one of the most impressive videos of ass play I've ever seen. Best use of a butt since Mark Sanchez 8 seasons ago. It is poetic that the only nice play the Jets made on Sunday, they pulled out of their ass. May's own teammate nearly knocks the ball to the ground, and he still makes a behind-the-back ass grab. Didn't help the Jets get on the board, though. They lost 24-0 to the Dolphins, but maybe May can get himself traded to a real team. Best, Joe Flacco taking a 1,000,000-yard loss on a sack. 28 yards is the final there, I guess, but you're out of your element, Joey, trying to backwards snake like Russell Wilson with your cinder block feet. That is not elite. Worst, unless he goes back to school, New York appears to be where Trevor Lawrence will go to die. The Jets are the first team to be shut out in 2020, and they are the lone team without a win. And if they do draft Lawrence, the ghost he will be seeing is just Sam Darnold, who I think the Jets have to shoot like an old dog they don't want anymore. Best, Joey Burrow out-Rivers Phillip Rivers by throwing a pick on his final drive down a score. We're so used to seeing Phil follow his usual script of getting down by a score late, starting a last-minute drive, and then throwing the game away with an ill-timed pick. Rivers did throw a fourth-quarter interception in this game, but after the Colts actually took the lead late in the game, Burrow took it upon himself to out Rivers, even Phil Rivers, with this game-ending interception, and the Bengals squandered a 21-point lead. Burrows is just 9 kids away from becoming the next Phil Rivers, as this graphic suggests. Best. Joe Burrow scored on a quarterback sneak early in this game and spiked a football into heaven. He's everything Jared Goff isn't. Best. The Jaguars are on their 5th kicker this season. The new kicker, his name, John Brown, and John Brown looks cool as fuck. Worst. Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins and 3 first-half interceptions as he moved into first place for most interceptions by a quarterback this season with 10. That's one more than Carson Wentz at this point. It takes a special type of bad to make the Falcons' secondary look elite. Remember when his only knock was playing poorly in prime times? Now he sucks all the times. Justin Jefferson, though, is a stud, putting up 2 touchdowns and 166 yards. But Kirk Cousins needs to find him before spotting the opposing team 3 touchdowns. Best, the Falcons finally stick the landing, receiving perfect 10s from all of the judges. Atlanta scored 10 points in every quarter of this game for a perfect 40. Perfect balance and consistency. Something I never thought I would say about the Atlanta Falcons this year. Worst. Matt Ryan went 30 of 40, threw 4 touchdowns, completed 75% of his passes, had 136.6 passer rating, and still won't win the Big Dick Player Award. Why? Because I'm a bitter little jerk who picked Atlanta to win all season long and then switched to the Vikings this week, only to end up looking like a real idiot. Worst. Baker Mayfield benched for Case Keenum at the top of the 4th quarter. After pooping their pants against their big brother Steelers, the Browns pulled Baker Mayfield allegedly because of his injured ribs. We all know that if the score had been reversed or even closer, he would have finished the game. Or maybe Kevin Stefanski didn't want Cam Hayward to continue to treat Baker Mayfield's body like a Mason Rudolph head. Cleveland is 4-0 against Indy, Cincy, Washington, and Dallas. But against real AFC North competitors, Baltimore and Pittsburgh, they've been outscored 76-13. Steelers, Titans, and Seahawks are now the only undefeated teams left in the league. And this pick from Minkah Fitzpatrick let us know the Browns were not ready to play the big dogs in the AFC North. If you throw in Ryan's performance on Sunday, that's 4 touchdowns from the Fitzpatricks in Week 6. You cannot hear it, but the Steelers were playing the Ramones Blitzkrieg bop after that pick 6. Huge improvement over Renegade. Best. And I promise, last thing from this game, Big Ben gets word from the refs that Tony Romo on the CBS broadcast thinks that Chase Claypool was inbounds on a review. Here's what Big Ben said.
Romo thinks he got in.
No, it's in. Tell Tony. Tony finally made a good call. Good call, Tony. Just joking, Antonio.
Antonio.
I'm impressed he knew my full name, actually.
Yeah.
That was impressive, Ben.
I think I called you that.
I can't believe he doubted me.
My first question is, why does the on-field ref know or care what Tony Romo thinks? And second, how did I not know Tony's real name is Antonio? Antonio Romo rolls right off the tongue, unlike any other name I've ever heard. Antonio Romo. Best. Titans tight end Anthony Firkser, of illustrious Harvard fame, had a huge game for the Titans. Not only did he lead the team with 113 receiving yards, scored a touchdown, but he had 2 key plays on Tennessee's game-tying drive. Firkser went berserker. Best. A.J. Brown receives best use of a shin to score a touchdown. Best. Deshaun Watson, knowing the Texans lost the moment he did not win the coin toss. Watson played great, but just like his French-sounding first name, he too knows when to accept defeat. Worst, Gardner Minshew's Jaguars suck. Best, they let the Lions win, and DeAndre Swift got his first 100-yard rushing game, plus 2 touchdowns. If Adrian Peterson wasn't stealing his goal line carries like a real Jerome Bettis, Swift could have had the hat trick on Sunday. Best, running back Miles Sanders is teammate of the year for fumbling away his long run, giving the touchdown to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Look, when you know that our Sega Dreamcast Whiteside hasn't scored all year, and you already have, that's called playing co-op multiplayer. Really going the extra miles there for that wordplay. Best, Jason Verrett sighting. We have a Jason Verrett sighting. After being injured since the Obama administration, Jason Verrett, the greatest corner to never be healthy, is finally healthy and making plays for the 49ers secondary. I honestly thought he had retired and was running a successful Starbucks franchise in the Midwest. Nice to see you back, Verrett. And now, we have our prestigious Big Dick Player Awards. It's not a fluke. It's for reals. Ryan Tannehill is the guy we saw at the end of last season. It's why every team should try and trade for Sam Darnold. Getting away from Adam Gase is the best career move possible you can make, outside of secretly poisoning your direct superior. Tannehill threw for 364, 4 touchdowns, and a pick in the Titans' 5th straight win to start the season. Getting A.J. Brown back was a huge boost. Those two are on another level, hooking up for 2 more touchdowns on Sunday, and Tanny even got 100 yards out of Anthony Berkser, like I mentioned earlier, who had 204 total yards last year. Tannehill did get some help from this next guy, though. How do I not give the Big Dick Ball Carrier Award to another Titan in Derrick Henry? Henry is still making men look like boys. Henry is the strongest guy in the room when the room is full of alpha, roided up males who can bench press smart cars. I wasn't even the strongest guy in the room when I used to visit my grandparents at their nursing home. Old Lady Gertrude was a real mean bitch who used to put me in a chokehold and give me noogies. Although, I think she called them something racist. Henry went over 200 yards rushing, ripped off a 94-yard tutty, and scored the game-winning touchdown in overtime from the Wildcat formation. Henry is playing like a Greek god. Ryan Tannehill is playing like Dan Marino, a beach god. And it's no wonder the Titans are undefeated. The Big Dick...
Okay, can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah. That was fun murdering everyone in like, what is it, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
I wanted to go with
Okay,
2.
so for imposters on hide and seek, basically you wait.
Alright, let's go ahead and change that title. That sounds pretty loud. Hey, Munchkin! Yeah, she fell asleep. Great. Give me a sec, stream. I shall be right back. Fall asleep, baby girl. Let's go downstairs.
receiver who put up 130 term in Pornhub with Taft had 2 interceptions, including enough to get the job done. And it is time to take the Bears seriously. So that's good sports. Thanks for watching the best and worst of the weekend. Just remember, you're better than the Jets, Perna. Here we are, week 6 of NFL football. Half the teams have already lost their bye weeks because of COVID. The Buccaneers defense looks like championship